She deserves nothing, Mom typed in the family WhatsApp group. Not $1. My brother reacted with a laughing emoji, and suddenly everyone was against me. I stared at the message, trying to understand how my own mother could erase everything I'd done for our family so easily. Before I could respond, my cousin sent a message that changed everything. You all need to see the bank records. The records weren't about my money. They exposed where our family's money had really been going. My name is Samantha. I'm 36 years old, and I work as a payroll specialist. For years, I quietly helped my family with money, and I never once asked for anything back. I was never the favorite. My older brother Ethan was always praised, protected, treated like he could do no wrong. If he forgot a birthday, it was because he was busy. If I forgot one, I heard about it for months. I covered small expenses for years. I helped Mom with her bills. I put my own plans on hold because I believed family meant showing up when someone needed you. I never questioned where my sacrifices went. I was scared that if I asked, people would call me selfish. I wasn't rich. I wasn't glamorous. But I had something they didn't expect. I was organized. I was observant. At work, people trusted me with financial details because I noticed things other people missed. If you've ever been the responsible one while somebody else got all the praise, you already know how this feels. Stick around, because what happened in that group chat is only the beginning. Like this video, click hype, and tell me in the comments if you've ever been expected to give and give without anyone noticing. The argument started small. I asked why Mom suddenly claimed she had no right to touch the family savings account. That was all it took. She deserves nothing, Mom wrote. She was never the one this family depended on. Ethan jumped in right after. Here we go again. Keeping score like always. So entitled. The laughing emojis came fast. Aunts, uncles, cousins I barely talked to, all reacting like I was the villain in a story I hadn't even read yet. My chest tightened. My hands were shaking. I felt 16 years old again, standing in the kitchen while everyone chose sides without me. Then my cousin Lauren posted a screenshot. A bank statement clear as day. Before everyone attacks Samantha, she wrote. Somebody needs to explain these transfers. I sat there staring at withdrawals I never authorized. My stomach dropped. Money I believed was sitting safely in a family emergency fund had been moved, again and again, into an account connected to Ethan. That was the first betrayal. Then came the second. Mom quietly removed me from an important financial discussion and told relatives I was trying to destroy the family. The third came from Ethan himself, who claimed he had done more for Mom than I ever had, even though I had years of payment records that said otherwise. For a moment, I felt crushed, small, unwanted, but something in me shifted. I stopped asking how they could do this to me. I started asking a better question. Why were they so desperate to keep me away from the records? So I stopped arguing in the group chat. I started collecting statements, messages, receipts, payment confirmations, every single thing I could find. The more I looked, the more the pattern became impossible to ignore. Several transfers lined up perfectly with major family expenses. Yet Mom's explanations and Ethan's explanations never quite matched what the numbers actually showed. My years in payroll had trained me to spot inconsistencies most people would scroll right past. What they didn't know was that I had already downloaded years of statements and organized them by date, amount, and recipient. I realized the attack in that group chat wasn't random. It felt timed, like someone wanted me to look greedy before I ever had the chance to look at the truth. I didn't confront them yet. I had a plan they never saw coming. I turned to Lauren, my cousin, the one the family always treated like the outsider whenever she asked hard questions. She told me she had noticed strange withdrawals before, but she was too afraid to challenge Mom and Ethan on her own. Together, we went through everything. Bank records, old messages, receipts, every explanation the family had ever given us. A pattern kept surfacing, over and over, unexplained transfers that always seemed to disappear right when someone needed money most. Meanwhile, Mom and Ethan grew bolder. They believed I had gone quiet because I was ashamed. They thought the family would simply accept their version of events and move on. Lauren and I decided we wouldn't shout. We wouldn't threaten. We would just bring the truth, laid out so clearly that nobody could dismiss it. I arranged a formal meeting at a legal office once the disputed account became something the family could no longer ignore. Mom accused me of creating drama the second we sat down. Ethan insisted every transfer was a legitimate family expense. I didn't raise my voice. I placed the organized bank records on the table and asked Ethan to explain several payments made directly into his personal account. Silence. The records showed money labeled as family savings had been redirected again and again, while I had been painted as the selfish one in public. Lauren added her documentation, proving my contributions were far larger than anyone in the family had ever admitted. Mom's claim that I deserved nothing collapsed right there on that table. The numbers didn't lie. I had been carrying a significant share of this family's financial weight for years. Ethan tried to say he was only borrowing the money, but several transfers had no repayment records at all. I looked at my mother and said it plainly. You didn't just take my money. You tried to convince everyone that I was the problem for asking where it went. Nobody laughed this time. The same relatives who had reacted with laughing emojis in that group chat sat quietly, realizing they had judged me without knowing a single fact. I didn't demand an apology. I didn't try to humiliate anyone the way they had humiliated me. My victory wasn't about revenge. It was about refusing to let their version of my life define who I was. After that day, I separated my finances completely from my family. I stopped rescuing everyone the moment they had a problem. Ethan had to face the consequences of those unexplained transfers, and Mom's trust within the family started to crack. Lauren became one of the strongest people in my life, proof that family isn't only about the people who share your last name. I started rebuilding the goals I had postponed for years while I was busy saving everyone else. They thought I needed their permission to know my own worth. I didn't. I only needed the courage to stop letting them rewrite the truth. If you've ever been financially taken advantage of and then blamed for noticing, I want to hear from you. Tell me about the moment someone took your support for granted, or made you feel selfish for simply asking for fairness. Setting a boundary around your money doesn't make you cruel. It makes you someone who finally sees clearly. So tell me, would you have confronted your family the second you saw those records? Or would you have waited, quietly gathering proof the way I did? Let me know in the comments. Like this video, click hype, and share it with someone who might be living through the same kind of betrayal right now. Because I didn't win when my family finally approved of me. I won the moment I stopped needing their approval at all.